Several other moms also touted the benefits, including Plexus Mommy, who noted on Facebook that she was proud to be a Plexus milk cow. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that so much. Hello. Hi. Hello. We did it. We're back. We're here together again. Here we are. Yes. Welcome back. Yay. We're back. Okay. Whoa. Simmer down. So it's been a minute. It's been way longer than I have ever wanted it to be. If you didn't see my community post, I did postpone the second part of InvestView indefinitely. And the reason is simply that I am very bad at YouTube. Talking in front of a camera, like that's all gravy, but the technical part, like the audio and the video, the editing, I'm very bad at it. I got very exhausted editing it. I had to re-record several parts, and the parts I had to re-record, there wasn't any energy. It wasn't fun for me. Not that talking about InvestView should be fun, but there was no energy there. And I don't know that the information translated all that well. I just need to take a break from it. I guess that's all I'm trying to say. I needed a break from it. But over the past couple of weeks, when I have been endlessly editing that video that will now never be seen by anyone, I had some time to just source some reels and reactions for when I was finally ready to come back with that sort of goofy content that I guess I typically do. And while so many came close to being in today's video, there was one Hun in Plexus who earned her own video. She is a top Plexus Hun, and I don't know if she has been featured in anyone else's videos before. I did a quick YouTube search, just like, a total of 10 seconds, and it didn't look like she was in anyone's video. I would be surprised if she doesn't look familiar, because she does have quite a following on Instagram. From what I understand, she started off as a farmhouse decor Instagram, and I hate farmhouse decor. Like every time I see a Ray Dunn something or another, I get these terrible visions of Southern moms just telling me to live, laugh, and love, and it's just not my style. Not that I have style, but I'm not too familiar with Plexus or their products or anything like that. I believe they have some sort of pink drink. Am I right? Is that them? I think I mentioned in another video how Plexus Huns they don't quite have the aesthetic. To me, MLMs are a very simple equation. It is aesthetic plus God, which equals this alleged cult-like situation. When we look at an MLM like Monate, aesthetic certainly comes first, and then God can come second. In Plexus, God definitely comes first, and then again, the aesthetic will come second, if we have time for it at all. God definitely is a prevalent presence in Plexus. Because of that presence, a lot of these Huns they're anti-vax, Republican. I said QAnon, right? Very QAnon. All news sources are fake. # save the children. And of course, God has called them to help people through Plexus, naturally. Today's Hun is all of that. She's all of that. Before we take a look at her reels, I want to talk about the situation that made me want to do a whole video on her. At the end of March, she posted a story regarding her husband and Plexus. So this is a picture of her and her husband, and it says, "So something exciting is happening today. In my company, you're able to double dip when you hit the top and build a second business. The last 1.5 years, I've been helping build his business to the top of the company too." For some reason, this screenshot, when it transferred to my OneDrive, it turned into like a Frankenstein post. Image, not so important. She just says, "I've been working with his team and been busting it together, and he's 30 away from Emerald Rank." I don't know what 30 means. Don't even care what he needs. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. So he's like 30 Plexus pink drinks away from Emerald or whatever. Note that she says she has been helping him, as if he has been running his own business underneath her all on his own, but she has just been assisting him to hit a top rank. So she's a diamond. Emerald is the third highest rank. You have the average there, which I mean, $9,000 a month to be emerald. That's a lot of money. Definitely wouldn't turn that down. So then she starts the countdown and she's got a picture of her whole family there because remember when you support her husband raking up, you are supporting this whole beautiful family. She says, I know there's a lot of new faces here and a lot of OG followers, and I want to explain more to anyone who holds and reads. I'm not here to brag about my success. I'm here to brag on this company. This company is overly generous to those who work hard. 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 Yes, me repeating that is foreshadowing, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. She goes on to say, I'm also here to brag on my team, who I'll be sharing more about later. This rank up is happening because of a group of women who all inspire each other and push each other to make a difference for their families. Inspire each other, push each other, buy each other's products to rank up, buy products from me, their uplines, so that my husband can rank up. We all support each other. I know that this one is all cropped funny, but she posted a picture of her baby and I don't want the baby to be involved. The baby didn't ask for this. So I know you can't see everything, but it does say if you're an existing customer of ours and want to support, I have a discount for you if you want to stock up on some products. Or if you've been curious to try, I have a huge discount for you too. She's going to continue this countdown. She's now at 25, 15, 11. I feel like you don't need to see that many stories of her family, so I just cut it all out. But she goes all the way down, and then her husband hits emerald. So he hits emerald, and of course, she's got to make some big dramatic story post about it. It says, I want to brag on my hubby. This month is his 1 year being retired. No, he doesn't necessarily work the Plexus business, but he supports me like crazy when I want to chase some wild dreams. Network marketing, of course, he was skeptic, like most hubbies are. But when the money started rolling in, he quickly turned into a big believer. He helps more than I can ask in the background. He helps cook meals, clean the house, change diapers, put kids to bed, feeds the animals, grocery shops, builds me things, fixes things that break, so many things. I'm gonna stop you right there. None of those things are working his business. And what she is trying to do is she's trying to justify the fact that he has never sold a product in his life, that he has never recruited a person in his life, that he has never in any way, shape, or form been a Plexus ambassador. She signed him up and started signing people directly under him. And all he had to do was sit there. I think she's aware of how unfair this looks, that her husband, who is now a top-ranked Plexus Hun, homie? What are they called? I don't know what they're called when they're men. He has not worked hard. He has not worked hard at all to become an emerald. And he's just getting this extra $9,000 a month because his wife did all the work for him, because his wife wants that money. So this is her speaking to her audience, because again, she's got a huge following. She's speaking to everyone who is in Plexus, who has never been able to rank up on their own. She's saying, look, I know what this looks like, but trust me, he does a lot for me. As if no one else's husbands support them the way that hers does. People ask all the time, what's it like having your husband home all the time? Well, it's a good thing I married my best friend. Who wouldn't want to spend every day doing life and chasing dreams with their best friend every day? I don't even know why she included that. It seems a little random. I don't really think anyone was asking her that, but we trust you. We trust you got a happy, healthy marriage. Congratulations. Because of this opportunity, we get to do things we want to every day and let our kids be a part of it. We don't live by time cards and hourly wages anymore. I'm so grateful. We are so blessed. Hard work pays off. Her husband did not do anything, and this is a whole post celebrating him. If everyone could do that with their husband, they would be doing it. But the fact of the matter is that she has a huge advantage. She's a diamond with a huge following, and anytime she gets a prospect, she can just throw it under him. I guarantee you he has no idea who is in his downline. Just imagine being at the bottom ranks of Plexus, and you watch this diamond ambassador level up her husband who has never sold the products. He has no social media presence. He has an Instagram. I'll share it, but he has never promoted the products. He hardly uploads on Instagram at all. He gets the top rank at Plexus because sometimes he buys groceries for his wife, because he takes care of the kids, Because he changes diapers and cleans the house. He feeds the animals. He fixes things that break. First of all, he's your husband. Those are things that he should be helping out with anyway. Those aren't things that you get rewarded for. Those are just things that couples do for each other. He doesn't need to thank you every time he gets the groceries. He doesn't need to thank you every time he changes a diaper. That's just something that he should be doing. He is a father. He is your husband. Okay? Y'all are a team. He does not deserve an emerald rank because he does the things that he is supposed to do. And again, imagine being at the lower ranks of Plexus and seeing this unfold. How many of those Plexus Huns are in marriages or relationships where that also happens? I'm sure that they've signed their husbands up underneath them. Why isn't it easy for them to rank up their husbands? After all, they're doing all these things too. Don't they deserve that? She is trying to justify the fact that her husband got to rank up without doing any of the work because as a diamond ambassador, as a lot of people's uplines, she's telling people, oh, you just have to have the right mindset. You just have to pray for it. I don't know a lot about God, but I'm pretty sure that they're not responsible for MLMs. I'm like 90% positive that MLMs are a result of Eve making Adam eat that apple. Like it came out of Pandora's box. I don't know. But God does not want you praying about your MLM business. It's just not a top priority. Sorry. So it's a kick in the face, right? It is a kick in the face to anyone in Plexus who has struggled to rank up. So in those stories, she says, I know he doesn't necessarily work the business, but blah, 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 blah. Correction, it is not that he doesn't necessarily run the business. He doesn't run the business. He does not run the business at all. This is his Instagram. I mean, for an Emerald ambassador, he's got no Plexus material here. We got nothing about Plexus. The last photo that he uploaded is of his child, so it's blurred out, but it was uploaded 33 weeks ago. I am not very active on social media myself. However, I'm not relying on social media to run my business. I cannot find anything about her husband promoting Plexus at all. If I try to search in places for his name with Plexus, nothing comes up. Anything that does come up is about his wife because she's so high up. The only post, in fact, that comes up is him hitting that emerald rank at all. Really, the only thing I can see him having a passion for when I search his name is poker. He likes to play poker. So she retired her husband a year ago and she has a couple of reels about it. I'm going to go ahead and play one.
This thing that is happening, like probably in a half an hour, well, it's kind of already happened, let's be real, is something that we have been praying for a very, very long time. In fact, I think it's been a little over a year and a half. So it's always been kind of a thing that we've been praying about, when is a good time for this to happen? Is it the right move for our family? And we basically have come to the conclusion that it's something that we needed to do sooner than later. This is something that we were going to do later this summer, specifically when the baby's born in September. God told us that it was the right time and it worked out and things are going really well for this thing to happen. I'm sorry if this sounds super cryptic, but we're really, really, really excited. It's also something that ever since we were put into this situation that I've made it a goal of mine for our family. So it's something that we've had to work for. It's not just something that we're being handed or whatever. But earlier this week, I kind of painted the picture, a very glamorous picture that life is super hard being a single parent home all week long by myself. So has been working on the road Monday through Thursdays, 3 hours away for a year and a half now. That's his job. He's been gone for most of my life and it's been really, really hard on our family. So my goal, our dream, and what we've been praying for a very long time was not for Reed to find necessarily a different opportunity, right? He loves his job. He works in construction and there's tons of opportunities for him. But what we have been praying for and working for and what has been provided for us through our hard work with Plexus and my income is that I get to retire. It is done working. He gets to come home and be with his family every day, every night. He gets to help me with the chores and he gets to do more of what he wants to do now. So no, this isn't coming home and being a bum, but he does get to relax. Like I said, he's been in construction, so he works really long hours, 12-hour days, 10, 12-hour days, and sleeps in hotel rooms every single night. And he's tired, right? And then when he comes home, I put him to work. It's been such a blessing and such a whirlwind of an experience that my income can support the both of us more than we need. And he gets to be home with us now. And I'm just so excited.
I just want to pause it for a second. This video was uploaded a year ago when she first retired her husband. And there she is saying that my income is enough to support both of us. Something here is not adding up. If your income was enough to provide for both him and yourself, more than enough, then why did you build this second business under him? Why did he need to hit emerald rank? There's a billion reasons why it could be. It could be that maybe she really does need the money because she's spending a lot. So maybe that was her way of getting some extra cash to fund that. Or maybe it's just greed.
So we are outside right now waiting for to come home, pull into the driveway for the last time, coming home from his last shift of being on the road, 3 hours away from us. And I'm going to try to get it on video because I've been always waiting at the door, waiting at the window, watching Dada come home. And this is the last time that my baby has to do that.
Okay, so then she posts some heartwarming video of her baby running to her dad once he pulls into the driveway. So she gets really theatrical with him retiring. She also mentions in that video that she's retiring him a little bit earlier than she wanted to. She claims she wanted to wait until the baby was born. I don't know if that's true or not, but what I do know, at this time, private employers were allowed to require contractors that they hire to be vaccinated. It's a very similar situation to, I think it was Brittany Rose, who retired her firefighter husband, but really he just didn't want to get vaccinated. Same exact thing. I don't know if I really believe she was going to retire him in September. I think she was thinking, absolutely not. You're not getting vaccinated. I'm just going to build a business under you and we will get a second income that way. And so she just began throwing people underneath him, double dipped and built this second business that Plexus so graciously allowed her to do. Of course, I'll be curious to see how he continues to keep this rank. Plexus has also mysteriously changed the way that they do income disclosures. In 2015 and 2016, they would actually include the average length of time someone would have to be in Plexus or that people were in Plexus before they hit a certain rank. So they would share how long on average someone was in Plexus before they hit Emerald or Sapphire or Diamond. Okay, my big old head is blocking it. Okay, boom, there we go. Right above my head, it says the average length of time for Emerald ambassadors to achieve their rank is approximately 18 months. So this was in 2015. And then in 2016, the average actually increased. So we can see here that the average length of time for Emerald ambassadors to achieve their rank is approximately 20 months. So not only did he hit Emerald without having to do any of this so-called hard work, but he did it in a much faster time than most people. He hit it in under a year, and the average here in 2016 is 20 months. It's just the hypocrisy of it all. You tell Huns that they have to work really hard. It's all about their mindset. They just got to pray and blah, 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 blah. And yet he literally does not lift a finger and is now at the top of the company. We know that her husband doesn't have social media, so he's not, promoting the products. Sometimes he hops on her stories with her family Instagram or whatever, but he does not promote anything at all on his Instagram, anywhere. But this is what she tells people who just joined the business.
When you are posting, I would continue to keep posting every single day in your stories, on your feed. It doesn't always have to be product, or testimony, or anything. It can just be you making your pink drink in the morning once you get your products. Creating a system in your stories when you are repeatedly posting, you're building belief in your followers because these people, they are watching you now. They're watching you because you made an announcement. When you stick to your guns, right, they're going to see that you are actually in love with these products. If you post consistently, they're going to be like, oh, she's still sharing about that pink drink. It must really work for her, right? And when you are sharing about these, again, always try to post a poll or an message me box or a questions box or something so somebody can interact with your stories instead of just watching, because people don't usually reach out. They want something to click on, or whatever the case may be. You can talk about any discounts that are being offered. You're going to be posting consistently, right? But in your first, I would say like 24 to 48 hours, your list of 100 people, you're going to reach out to. You're going to reach out to some of them. I would put your closest family and friends at the top of that list, like mom, sister, brother, aunt, BFF, husband, whatever. Those people are going to be at the top of your list because they are near and dear to your heart. And those are the people you're going to reach out to first.
Social media is very important. This is what she is telling people who have just joined Plexus. They need to post daily. She also tells them that they need to create a list of 100 people and reach out to them. Did your husband do this? Did he? Did he do it? Who were his 100 people? She wants you to make a list of 100 people that you are close with, that you love, that you feel comfortable reaching out to. She wants you to test your relationship with them by cold messaging them and asking them to try your products or join your business. That cannot be good for anyone's mental health, but it is a requirement on her team so that you can build your business. But it was not a requirement for her husband. And that's not fair. The people in her downline will never have that advantage. They probably will never even get close to Emerald. And he got to do it without having to do any of this grunt work, without having to post on social media every day, without having to cold message people at his poker games or whatever it is he's doing. His construction worker coworkers, none of that. He didn't have to reach out to them. This does not sit right with me. I mentioned that she built her following around this farmhouse decor aesthetic. I personally, again, bleh. She has recently shifted her Instagram from that farmhouse decor inspiration to a homesteading sort of aesthetic, but she's not quite there. So she's trying to start to homestead. And in the meantime, she is hoarding food that she buys at Costco. I guarantee you she is one of those that overbought toilet paper. I guarantee you she's one of those. Hello, editing turd girl 1 here. I am going to go on and on about her, but in my editing of this video, so I've already completely edited it, I failed to refer to her as a prepper, and that's what she is. She's a prepper. Prepper can have several meanings, but in today's conservative, QAnon, alt-right circles, a prepper is going to fit somewhere in between a doomsday prepper and homesteaders. And of course, there can be some overlap between all three of them, so that's kind of where she's at. These type of preppers believe that the US government will experience some sort of structural collapse, and that's going to result in civil unrest, extreme food shortages, people will be unemployed, there will be people dying of starvation, and it's just going to be complete chaos. So in order to prepare for it, these preppers are trying to learn how to grow their own food. They want to learn how to raise farm animals like chickens and cows, stuff that will help with their food supply. And they also support hoarding things like batteries, food, ammo, all of that. So in editing that video, I also realized that the examples I gave, it really didn't feel like this family was that extreme. They will allude to a not so distant future where quote unquote shit hits the fan. But I think because they present it in this cute country family way, instead of in front of an American flag, wearing Oakleys and a mossy oak hat, it doesn't feel that extreme. But I promise you, they are alt-right. And thankfully last night after I had edited this video, they uploaded a reel that I think is a better example of how extreme they are. So I'm going to go ahead and play it. I don't really have much of a reaction for it. I want to just set the scene with it.
I'm going to tell it to you straight. I'm going to tell you the truth. Our darkest days are ahead of us, not behind us. And now's the time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there. Just clap for that, you stupid bastard.
This would be the time because you really need world order, financial world order.
This alternative vision argues that ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
We are here to develop the great narrative, a story for the future. But in order to shape the future, you have first to imagine the future. You have to design the future.
So that's it. That's what they are preparing for. They are preparing for a takeover by the Democrats where Joe Biden and Barack Obama are helping with this whole new world order, and they're trafficking children, and they are implanting us with chips, and Christians are being persecuted. It's just, this is it. This is what they are preparing for. So I hope this helps you to understand the rest of my reactions in this video. On her Instagram, she fantasizes a lot about the world ending, and her and her family are just so prepared because they've hoarded all this food and everyone else is doomed. She has a very US-centric view of the world. COVID didn't affect anyone else. There is no one else in the world that has high gas prices right now or suffering from inflation. There's none of that. None of that is happening anywhere else. This type of view is so confusing to me because she's so she's anti-vax, COVID is a hoax, they are trying to poison our food, they're trying to poison our water, the United States government is trying to kill us, but at the same time, she says she's raising patriots. So do you love the United States? Is it the best country in the world? Or is the United States trying to kill you? Are they trying to silence you? What is going on? This video is the perfect example of that. It's muted because she's playing in sync, but she's wearing a Carhartt hat and she tosses it off. Boom. She puts on the Plexus hat. The made in China Plexus swag. This is irony. She's upset because Carhartt is requiring its workers to get vaccinated. Carhartt, which has unionized factories here in the United States to help protect its workers. Carhartt that makes clothing here in the United States. She's upset because they are now requiring mandated vaccines. So instead, she's going to put on the Plexus hat, probably costs like 2 cents to make, if that, because America sucks, because Carhartt sucks, because Carhartt, which is a private-owned business, has decided how it wants to run its business. And that's even more irony because they're always so concerned about what a private business is allowed to do. During lockdown, they were complaining about restaurants being closed, about what was happening to small businesses. This irony is the result of people doing their own research. This is what you get. Here's another one. It's muted because we got Adele playing, but she's flinging her mask because freedom is winning. Girl. She's excited because the mask mandate has been lifted. This was posted 9 weeks ago. Freedom is winning. What does that even mean? Does she think that the mask mandate is lifting because they're listening to people like her? The mask mandates are being lifted after 2 years. That's not a win. It could have ended much, much sooner, but because people like her refuse to get vaccinated, refuse to wear masks, and because she and many others like her referred to COVID as a hoax and continue to spread contagious misinformation, the mask mandate is just being lifted after 2 years. In the meantime, those dying of COVID were people peddling these same conspiracies. How on earth are you going to take credit for the mask mandate being lifted? She says, who's celebrating freedoms? I know schools are ending mask mandates, restaurants are finally open to everyone again, and the people are being heard finally.
Good jobs numbers, some calling it the Biden boom as we fall.
InfoWars, tomorrow's news, today.
The description for this is just, it's an Alex Jones quote. So, yeah. It says, driving 1,791 miles across country on the day gas prices are the highest ever in history. The caption says, thanks, Joe. Hashtag FBJ. Hashtag impeach Biden. Hashtag gas prices. Hashtag inflation. Someone left a comment on it and said, tell me you don't understand how gas prices work without actually telling me. Comment actually has 20 likes. She has a lot of followers, so of course there was bound to be someone who disagrees with this. Rational people. She responded saying, you're right. Biden was taking charge of more important issues than our economy. Hashtag inflation. Hashtag Biden crack pipes. Hashtag Keystone Pipeline. Hashtag open borders. Again, this is just a very, very US-centric view. We are the only ones in the world with high gas prices. A lot of her posts seem to be very like fear-mongering a little bit. I think she does it for engagement. I think she has to do it for engagement. I think it's the only way that people are going to care about her. The world is going to end and you're not prepared, so she's going to show you how to do it. Which her advice 90% of the time is have a first aid kit and hoard food. It's like, that's literally what she recommends.
Don't be shocked. You're shocked? You're shocked?
So it says on the right, price inflation is up 7% from 1 year ago. That's the highest increase in over 40 years. It's only getting worse, friends. Tell me again why it's silly to stock up and actually save money long-term on necessary items now, or learning some basic skills to grow and raise your own food. There is nothing wrong with learning to grow your own food, but you are literally hoarding food. That's a problem. Not only are her views US-centric, but it's all about her and her family. Like, girl, screw inflation. We have 43 million people here in the United States, you know, the country that you're raising your little kids to be patriots for. 43 million people live below the poverty line that cannot afford food at all, let alone can they afford to hoard food the way that she can. It's completely selfish, and it refuses to see the bigger problem here. I know I've said this, but everyone should be able to afford food. Everyone should be able to have access to healthcare. Everyone should have a roof over their head. People need help now, but she is not an empathetic person. She does not care about anyone but herself, though you would have to be a selfish person to make it to the top of any MLM. This girl fantasizes about the world ending and that she's the only one prepared, her and her family, and that people are scrounging and killing each other for food. The caption says, when someone says, I'm coming to your house when shit hits the fan. Love you, but no. We work really hard to prep for our family. You should be doing the same for yours. She completely supports hoarding food. And when that apocalypse finally hits, don't go knocking on her door if you could not afford to hoard. You should have joined Plexus. It's your own fault. Again, not everyone can afford to do that because not everyone has been able to scam their way up to the top of a pyramid and then go on to get their husband to the top as well. People cannot afford to do that. This is so tone deaf. I don't know why she thinks that this is a good real idea. She is fantasizing about people knocking on her door when shit hits the fan or whatever that means to her. She's fantasizing about turning people away because she did what she was supposed to do, and you are a bad wife, you are a bad husband, your family is not put together if you haven't prepared for this. People are food insecure now, and we don't even have a food shortage in the way that she's fantasizing. We literally throw away billions of pounds of food. So if we're wasting so much food, then why don't people still have access to it here in the United States? I don't know. Maybe, just maybe it has nothing to do with this US-centric view that the United States is going to be a part of this new world order and we're all going to starve. Maybe the problem is different. Maybe the problem is that there is no government support now. But she is so caught up in this fantasy and she's so caught up in this every man for himself viewpoint that she doesn't even think of ways that she can help her community that is food insecure now. In this homesteading project that she is doing, she is learning a lot of useful skills that could serve her community. She's learning to grow her own food. Why not start a community garden? She's learning how to save money on buying in bulk. Why not use that to help start food drives? She has a chicken coop where she's starting to get eggs. She doesn't have a cow or anything like that to milk, but once she does, why not set up some free food fridges in your town, in your community? Why not give the community that you live in, the community that you participate in, the community where your friends and family live, why not set them up so that they can survive with you in this fantasy? This idea that they are just going to turn anyone away who needs help, that is insane. That's completely unchristian-like. If the world gets this way and we're all doomed and a can of beans now costs $10 a can, these people are going to be the type of family who bought out all of the cans of beans and they are now selling it out of their garage for $20 a can. These are just horribly, horribly selfish people. I'll say it a million times in this video, but they are incredibly selfish. You know what it reminds me of? It's like those people that read an article about a home invasion and they say, I'd like to see them try to come into my house. I got lots of guns. And then they start to fantasize about how it all goes down and how they take down this intruder. And it's very bizarre. This is the vibes it gives me. I'm not sure what sound was over this. It's been removed. It's a reel of her throwing on a Let's Go Brandon sweatshirt that she's going to wear throughout the holidays. It says, ain't nobody telling me what to do. Hashtag FJB, hashtag Let's Go Brandon, hashtag USA US, hashtag Trump won. Okay. Hashtag moms of Instagram, hashtag Mama Bear, hashtag Patriots Nation, hashtag Patriot, hashtag Patriot Mom, hashtag Mom Influencer, hashtag Don't Mess With My Kids. And she's also putting it on like, oh yeah, look at me doing what I want to do, wearing this sweatshirt, FJB. She's acting as if her whole family isn't going to be wearing that same sweatshirt at Christmas dinner. I'm not a Joe Biden supporter either. I'm obviously not a Trump supporter, but clinging to these US-centric conservative conspiracy theories, that is not going to address the problems that we have here in the United States. Again, just think about how stupid it is that she isn't going to support Carhartt. So she's not going to support a company that provides jobs to U.S. citizens, a company that brings money into the United States, a company that is unionized. There are very few manufacturers in the United States that are unionized. You're going to stop shopping there because you have some cheap Lexus beanie. So your political statement is don't support made in the USA, support working conditions overseas. I am by no means someone that shops 100% ethically. It's very hard. It's a very hard thing to do. But again, it's these US-centric, fear-mongering conspiracy theories that are preventing us from progressing. It's preventing her from progressing. I'm going to wrap up this video with a couple of reels that she does have about Plexus.
Holy motherforking shirt balls.
What?
Oh man. Wow.
The caption under this one says, I still can't believe how this holistic, gut-healthy pink drink helps me with all this milk production. Over 4 months in and still pumping tons of extras on top of exclusively nursing her daughter's name, Mamas. Let me know if you want my coupon to try it. In a little asterisk, it says, good healthy milk production stems from a good healthy gut. Ask me for more info on how the pink drink can help you with this and so much more. I feel like you can't make that claim. No, I don't think you can say that. A lactation consultant weighed in on this. I think that this is a claim a lot of Plexus Huns make. I can link the article below if you want to read the full thing, but it says, as for breastfeeding moms, YouTube user Patrice at Made Up Mama noted that after trying to increase her supply with tactics like drinking more water or pumping more, she became frustrated with little to no results. But when a friend saw results almost immediately by using Plexus to boost her milk supply, Patrice decided to give it a shot too. Several other moms also touted the benefits, including Plexus Mommy, who noted on Facebook that she was proud to be a Plexus milk cow. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that so much. And also, Plexus Mommy, not a biased source at all, right? It goes on to say that Leanne O'Connor, an international board-certified lactation consultant and parenting coach, tells Romper in an email interview that it is not recommended that women take Plexus while breastfeeding. This is a professional, not someone who has just been trained on Plexus. This is a professional saying that she does not recommend it while breastfeeding. If moms claim that it has helped with milk supply, along with a long list of other drinks and foods, chances are that it is due to dehydration, so the supplements help to restore her fluids. In addition to trying these supplements, she may also be making other lifestyle choices that help with milk supply. Those other choices could be increasing pumping or breastfeeding sessions or letting your little one breastfeed for longer than usual. None of the ingredients in Plexus are galactagogues.
Galactagog.
None of the ingredients in Plexus are galactagogues, foods or herbs that increase milk supply. But when combined with other factors, it's easy to see why some may think the pink drink increases their milk supply. Let's just end with her chronicling her time at Plexus.
They said we couldn't do it, but looks like we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. We might have took the long way. We knew we'd get there someday. They said, I bet they'll never make it, but just look at us holding on.
The caption reads, people said you'll never be successful in that business. Well, I certainly showed them. You only fail if you give up. Look at what all I would have missed out on if I allowed myself to fail. And I'm not done yet. If you want a part of this, message me. This reel brings up all of the obvious anti-MLM commentary, right? She's talking about how she makes so much money a month, and had she stopped and listened to the haters, she wouldn't have had any of it. She talks about the community. She talks about the Lexus. She talks about the free trips. She talks about making it to the top. She talks about how it brought her and her family together. Look at everything that I've got. Those expectations are very unrealistic. I mentioned that Plexus does its income disclosure a little bit differently now. Under how much you can earn, it says the top 1% of brand ambassadors made an average of $37,000 annually. The top 1%. And they try to word it nicely by saying 50% of the top 1% made more than $14,000. What they are saying is that only 50% made more than that. And that 50% of that top 1% made $14,000 or less. The expectations of making all of this money, of making $20,000 a month, of being able to level up your husband and increase what he's making annually, like her results are not typical. And nowhere in that reel does it state that. Nowhere in the caption does it state that. And that is really unfair to anyone that sees that, feels alone, feels broke, feels like they need something like this in their life, and they're going to join thinking that they have a chance and they just don't. Recently, we have seen people like Boss Lee and what is the one with the short hair? Colleen from No Shame Sales Game. We have seen them talk about how income disclosure statements are a lie because it includes people that just shopped, right? It doesn't include people that are working the business. This income disclosure statement says very clearly that the top 1%, so those are going to be people that are actively trying to run the business. They are recruiting people and they are getting those people to recruit more people, etc., and so on. They are not making that much. So in 2014, Plexus had 20 diamond ambassadors. 2 years later, in 2016, they had just 100. To be truthful, I don't know how many diamond ambassadors there are today, but if we go back to 2016, we know that they have 100 diamond ambassadors. I think at this moment they have like 500,000 distributors, but in 2016, they only had about 300,000. That means in 2016, 0.0003333% of Plexus ambassadors were diamond. That means it's not that easy. It's not that easy. When we think of vile Huns, we really think of those people that come at the camera very aggressively, that just kind of lose it in Zoom calls, that say really nasty, negative things. But I look at her and I see the same exact vile energy. As vile as you can display yourself in Plexus. So that's going to wrap up today's video. If you have been watching me and you haven't subscribed yet, I would love it if you subscribed. If you don't want to subscribe, I can't force you. I can't force you. But I think I'm almost at 700 subscribers, which is great, which is awesome, which is cool, which is great, which is awesome, which is cool. I would love to hit 1,000 by the end of the year. I feel like that's realistic. Although I got to upload more than once a month. I got to work on that. That's about it. Thank you for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.